Yeah, I mean, the number one goal is to come out of this thing healthy. I thought we did that. We kept guys for the most part upright. I held my breath on a couple of plays, but we had a really physical spring, and I would say it was great to get out there and get in the stadium and play. But I think the most exciting part was getting back in the stadium and seeing the best damn band in the land, having some fans around, and just it felt almost normal out there today. And just want to thank the band for being out there. It made it feel like we were back in the shoe again with a full crowd. I know usually we're used to about 85,000 for a spring game, but even 20 was nice. I know that there were a huge demand with the students. I really appreciate the students coming out and doing their part, even though there wasn't as many out there as they would have liked. And I know they sold a couple extra tickets, so appreciate the students coming out. But I'm just hoping that thing's full when we come back against Oregon here, and not too long.
All righty, let's go next to Nathan Baird from cleveland.com.
Ryan, can you assess what you saw from your quarterbacks today, all three of the guys in the competition to start?
Yeah, very similar to what this whole spring's been. Some good, some not so good. A lot of learning opportunities there. We tried to get a little bit of a 2-minute going at the end of the half, some red zone stuff. All learning. You can see when you watch, there's flashes here and there, and then there's just learning opportunities. And the more these guys can prepare and work in the film room and just grind in the meeting rooms, the better they're going to prepare and be ready for those moments. And they've learned a lot, but now the race is on over the next few months to figure out who can make the next stride so that they're further along. Spring's been good. There's been a lot of progress made across the board, but still a long way to go before we play against Minnesota.
All righty, let's go next to Bill Rabinowitz from the Columbus Dispatch.
Yeah, I think I'll ask about Jack Sawyer. 3 sacks today. He didn't look like a guy who didn't play last year, coming off a knee injury. What are your impressions of what he did this spring and today, and what kind of role could he have?
Off to a great start for sure, and he's learning more and more reps. He's working his way up the depth chart. I think across the board, our D line was solid this year. We have some good depth there, but Jack in particular came in with a lot of confidence, and he's made a lot of plays. And what you saw today was pretty much most every practice out there. So if he can keep building and getting stronger and keep building, then hopefully he's going to have an impact and be able to participate here early in the season. And we have a couple big games early on, so the more depth we have, the better off we're going to be.
All righty, let's go next to Bill Landis from The Athletic.
Ryan, we talked with you a lot when you had Justin about the balance between wanting to be aggressive and also, taking your check downs and being smart. I'm wondering how that factors in when you have a quarterback competition where you're just trying to create game situations. And do you want these guys to be any more aggressive? Because it seems like maybe some more learning opportunity can come from that.
It's a great question, and we talk about it all the time. You can't go out there and win the job on one play. It doesn't work that way. And so if you're trying to force the action, you're going to get yourself jammed up. I mean, when it's there, you got to take your shot. Like you said, you got to be calculated. And when it's there, you have to be aggressive. But a lot of times it's cutting your losses. And, we talk all the time when we watch film, if there's a play where it's, 1st and 10 and maybe there's leakage up front, throwing the ball away, that's a great rep. And it doesn't feel like it at the time when you're competing for a starting quarterback position, but those are good reps. But all of those things are being taken into consideration because it's not about winning the day. It's about winning the job so that you can go now help us win. And there's been a lot of those learning opportunities. And as we start to game plan different opponents, we'll do that a little bit more. We'll talk about this is an opportunity for us to take a shot. This is something where we're thinking about being more conservative. Right now, we're just trying to learn the offense and understand where the ball goes and just the system of offense.
All right, let's go next to Dan Hope from 11 Warriors.
Yeah, Ryan, just obviously, you saw CJ, for a year, this is Kyle's first time playing in Mizzou, but just for both of those guys to, have 2 touchdowns today, no interceptions, have the kind of consistency they did, how pleasing is that for you as a quarterback coach to see them, have that kind of performance?
Yeah, I mean, it's all part of it. I know that's really the only thing you guys have seen, but we take the entire 15 practices and evaluate all those things. But when you're in the stadium and you're in a game environment with fans, how does that affect your performance? I mean, if there's a change, then we have to figure out why. But for the most part, we've seen a lot of things that guys have flashed, and there's a lot of things that go into, a lot of positive things happening. what's going on in the game, if we're getting good protection, who the receivers are. I mean, there's just many of those things. So this was just a very small glimpse at, a bunch of guys taking some reps, but there's a body of work that needs to be built from that first spring practice all the way through the first game that, still has yet to be written.
All right, let's go next to Patrick Murphy from 247.
Ryan, we saw some of the young wide receivers kind of step up, especially the freshmen today. But we also saw Chris and Garrett make plays. You guys have such depth, such talent at that position. Last year, you weren't able to spread that around. What is the focus going to be going into next year to get the ball to all of these different guys that you've got available?
Well, I think they all understand that it's a team game, and the number one goal is to win the game. So, I've never heard any of those guys talk about getting their touches or getting theirs. It'll come naturally if they just work. One of the things that we've been focused on this off season is just, fundamentals, blocking, all the little things when the ball's not in your hand, and they've done that. And because of that, they end up getting more balls. It just works that way. But I do think the young guys have had a great work ethic. They have a great mentality and approach, and that's a good thing. They're providing depth, and the sooner those guys can come along, the more depth they can provide. They're only going to help the older guys get stronger, give them a break some point in the game so that then in the fourth quarter, they're at their best. And so I'm impressed with all the young guys. I think Marvin, Emeka, and Jaden have all shown that they have the ability to play this season. Now they're nowhere near they need to be. They got a lot of way to improve over the next couple months, but bright future there, I think.
All right, we'll do two more for Coach Dave. We got Thayer Munford coming up for you. Let's go to Rob Aller from the Columbus Dispatch.
Hey, Ryan, you got so much talent on offense that you might think that the quarterback just has to be a game manager, but at this level, can you afford to just have a game manager, or do you have a guy that needs to be able to win games ultimately to go where you need to go?
Right. I think that first off, when you're just starting and you're learning to play the position, you can't do anything out of the ordinary. You can't try to do things other than make the routine plays routinely. Why? Because you have a really good offensive line, a really good tight end. You have really good receivers. You have solid backs. So in that moment, you don't need to do anything more than just make the routine plays routinely. And it's our job as coaches to put them in a situation to be successful and to show the best version of them. But somewhere along the line, when the game's coming down to the fourth quarter, they're going to have to make plays. It comes down to, like you said, not just managing the game. That's a big part of it. But if you want to go win the tough games and the tight games in the fourth quarter, you're going to have to make plays in a 2-minute drill. You have to throw really well in red zone, and you got to convert on third down. But, we're hoping early on that with the talent that's around the quarterback, that if he can just kind of keep the offense moving and get the ball into the right, skill players' hands and keep the chains moving, that's a great start. But like you said, eventually somewhere along the line, they're going to have to step up and win games for us. And so, but that's all part of the process.
All righty, and final question for Coach Day to Stephen Means from cleveland.com.
Ryan, the running backs were heavily involved in the passing game today, obviously with some check down stuff, which we saw with Justin kind of evolve at the end of the year, but also it seemed like you guys were drawing up some plays for those guys. When you've got that type of depth and some guys who can do some different things, what kind of aspect can that add to your offense?
Yeah, we're always looking for versatility at the running back position. And when you can run the ball physically and finish runs, then you can pass protect. And then the other part of it is, can you go run routes? When you can do those three things, you become very valuable on offense, and you become a weapon. And our guys are doing that. And you can see when we throw the ball, if those guys want to get off in the zone, we can check the ball down. That's getting a really good skill player the ball in space. And that's what we're trying to do ultimately. Whatever the scheme is, we want to create as much space as we can. And that's just another way to do it. Not that something we've done a ton of here, but with the running backs that we have, we think that's something that, we could start to look into more.
All righty, Coach. Thank you very much for your time. Really appreciate it.
All right, guys. Thanks.
We'll